Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hi guys, I hope you're all keeping well and you all had a lovely Easter. So there's lots of stuff going on at the moment with regards to the royal family, and did she? Did he? Did they really? Did she really? So I'm going to do a couple of videos this week. I'm firstly going to concentrate today on the one that is kicking off big time. The Queen has reportedly given an invite for Harry and Meghan to attend the Jubilee celebrations on the balcony. Now, whether you believe this story or not, the Telegraph is the one that broke it and all of the other media outlets have followed suit. The Telegraph for me is one that I would tend to believe. The next video I'm going to concentrate on, however, will be to do with the Invictus Games, or formerly known as the Invictus Games, now known as the Harry and Meghan show. I'm sure there are going to be lots of you in the comments that have lots to say, and I will be discussing that in the next video for definite. So firstly, let's start on the other royals, the real royals. We obviously had the Easter Sunday service held at the church in Windsor, and with Prince Charles and Camilla being absent, the Queen, she's obviously taken a step back, having a bit of a break. William and Catherine were the most senior royals leading the royal family into the service. So we got to see lovely photographs, Catherine in baby blue and the children matching their parents. Princess Charlotte, I love seeing little girls dressed like this. I was a real tomboy as a little girl, believe it or not. I would be up trees. I hated dresses. I hated anything pink. I'm still not a massive pink fan now. Now, I'm pretty sure there's an inkling that I've got about her that she is probably a bit of a tomboy herself. They're really growing up quickly, and it won't be too long before we obviously see Prince Louis. Also coming into the church, we saw the Sussexes, Sophie the Countess of Wessex with her husband, Prince Edward, their son, Viscount James, and then Lady Louise, who I have to say has definitely turned into quite the lady. She looks absolutely gorgeous. She's really shot up as well, and I really do see similarities with her and her grandfather, Prince Philip. They were obviously very, very close. You know that she's taken on a lot of his hobbies, but I can really see him in her as well. So let's get to the big story that is on everyone's lips. It's clearly obvious now that Prince Harry and Meghan did go and visit the Queen. However, there is a lot of information that has been leaked since. There is a lot of confusion. They were only there for a very short amount of time. Now, lots of people have said that I'm disgusted that the monarchy, that they want the family up on the balcony after everything that's happened. I have to say, yes, if that is actually true. But please bear in mind, as I said, the Queen has seen them. We're not going to know really what the private conversations were or what's happened. There are a lot of theories out there, which I'll come to. But one important thing to remember here when stories come out about the Sussexes, remember that Doria was coming for Christmas with the royal family. That didn't happen. The Duchess of Cambridge and the Queen were throwing separate birthday parties, baby showers for Meghan. Catherine didn't even go to that ostentatious baby shower that was in New York. More recently, they were supposed to be attending the Beckham's wedding. How about the Oscars? What about the Met Gala? What about the Obamas? It's clearly obvious that Harry has met with the Queen, but I'm not so sure if I really truly believe that the Queen has offered for them to be on the balcony, or whether that is a twist to get everyone's backs up. I mean, it sells newspapers and it gets everyone buzzing on social media. Now, one of the big things is you don't know how much of it is true, how much of it has been twisted. GB News actually reported that their staff were contacted and Harry and Meghan haven't actually decided if they're going to take up the offer. Now, that to me is red flags how true this was, because you surely think they really wouldn't pass up on an opportunity like that for their brand. As for the Queen actually doing it, it was Easter. She's the head of the church and Christian faith. It is all about forgiveness. They are family. And as much as the public are really unhappy of the treatment of them, we have got every right to be. We can't really be kicking up saying that, oh, they shouldn't be allowed to come to family events. However, standing on the balcony next to the senior royals, I can understand why people wouldn't be happy. It's a taxpayer funded event. It means additional security, and it would be a kick in the face to the public to have them front and centre. The Queen is also 96 years old, and who knows when her last, as awful as it is, we've got to be realistic, you know, who knows when her last wave on that balcony will be for the public. We do not know, and I mean, I truly hope for the best, that the Queen's health will allow her to appear on the balcony. She has been hit by COVID and various other things, and you can see that she is a lot more frail since obviously losing Prince Philip. We also don't know, with Charles wanting to slim down the monarchy, how many of them are actually going to appear on the balcony. Whilst it has been done previously, where they have had all of the family out there, Charles is definitely trying to reduce that. So we don't know, we might have something very similar to what we did with the Diamond Jubilee, where it's just going to be the working heirs and their families. There's a lot of speculation, so I don't really know what to think. Bearing in mind, they only came over for 15 minutes with Charles. It's been reported that people saw them entering and exiting Windsor. They were there for less than a couple of hours. Apparently an hour was spent with the Queen. Now, the fact that they couldn't come over for Prince Philip's memorial, but they came over for this, makes me think that they were summoned. Now, another reason for this is Harry's just blown his court case out of the water. The whole reason why he couldn't attend Prince Philip's memorial has now been completely destroyed, isn't it? Because, well, why could he come over for this now, but he couldn't come then? He's not resolved his court case with Her Majesty's government to talk about security, so he can come over with a Netflix crew, but he wasn't allowed. It doesn't make them look good. Again, I'll refer back to my optics. The optics do not look good. But the fact that they were there for such a short spell of time, and the Queen had a Privy Council meeting before Harry arrived. The Privy Council are the Queen's official advisors. They advise the Queen over various issues. They can issue executive orders in council, of which can actually be an enactment of Parliament, which means that if the Queen, say, for example, is removing Harry from being councillors of state, that would be something that they would do. People have got excited that they're going to remove their titles. I think if they were going to do that, they would have done that by now. But Harry, at the moment, the same as Prince Andrew, are councillors of state, which means if the Queen, Charles and Prince William are unavailable to attend an event, Harry and Andrew can step in. No, that's a no finger wag. The fact that Prince William and Catherine were on holiday, Princess Anne was also out of the country. It does make you wonder how long that this was actually planned for. 15 minutes with his father, an hour tops with the Queen. The Queen apparently stipulated that if for Harry to see her, he did actually have to spend some time alone with his father. This is not giving me the vibes of a family reunion, or as Harry's PR have tried to sell it, an olive branch. There is definitely something. As I said, it seems that they were summoned rather than it being an affectionate meeting, a chance to bury the hatchet. This further proved for me was Harry's facial expressions at the Invictus Games. Now, there's a bit where obviously he hasn't seen his grandmother for some time. It could be that the shock he saw the Queen and he's actually realised, because the last time he saw her was some time ago. And she does look frail. She does look better in recent weeks when we've seen her. She is resting a lot. So maybe it was a shock for him to actually realise. I'd like to think it's sunk into him everything that he's done, the hurt that he's caused his family, and he's still continuing to do so with threats of his impending biography, which we know is going to be another attack on the royal family. But from what I can see, Harry doesn't look sad. He looks sorry for himself. Harry doesn't look upset. He looks moody, stroppy, like someone's told him no. I've seen this before when he was sulking at a game when he was with William and Catherine. I've also seen it on the Commonwealth, that last service that they appeared, where Harry and Meghan apparently threw a tantrum because they wanted to walk in with the Queen. And Catherine and William had to give up walking in with the Queen to try and pacify him, but it still wasn't good enough. You know, we saw pictures of Meghan with that big grin on her face and Harry looking upset. He looks completely drained at the Invictus Games. He just looks pissed off, if I'm honest. So I do highly doubt that it was suddenly an epiphany that hit him of the actual heartbreak that he's caused for his family. I still think that Harry is many years away from actually realising the damage that he's done to his own family. Now, on a much lighter note, I've got to talk about the clanger, yes, the clanger that Harry has just dropped. I honestly, they're a comedy sketch. They write themselves. I've said this so many times. But Harry, being interviewed by a couple of very young reporters, decided to tell them that he is going to continue to fight and he's never going to stop until he can make the world an equal place and a better place for his children. We are not going to steal their futures, he ended. Now, some people have said he looks a bit nervous talking to these children. I think that's because he was aware that those children were probably more intelligent than him. How on earth can he come out and with a straight face and say something like that? Equality, a prince that was born into the royal family talking about equality while living in a 16-bathroom mansion in a gated community away from the general public, who is suing Her Majesty's government so he can have taxpayer-funded police protection, who is marching around with bodyguards and marches around America with armed security because he's so important. Most recently reported, one of the bodyguards has protected 2 presidents. This is his level of his ego. Just call me Harry. I think not. There was video footage here which I can show you of Harry walking around the Invictus Games. Look at the amount of people around him. Look at his scowl. He's not engaging with anyone. He's walking around like, do you know who I am? There are people trying to get selfies with him. He did not care. He did not care. He did not interact unless those Netflix camera crew were on him and it was being filmed. He and his wife have just demanded that they are VVIPs, but they want equality. This is the same man that sat on Oprah in the middle of a worldwide pandemic where thousands of people had lost their lives, their jobs, the government's pushing our countries into absolute economical meltdown, and he sat there and moaned that his daddy had cut him off despite being a multi-millionaire, and the fact that Charles only cut him off in the March and had paid him several million that year alone. Harry and Meghan are upset because they want their children to have titles. Okay, they want equality. This is the exact same couple that Meghan, when she went for her baby shower in New York. How about the tennis match? They kicked people out of their seats. These were not reserved seats prior. These were people that had gone to Wimbledon with tickets and their security had stopped people from sitting in that huge area. Meghan's team did that. I could go on and on and on about the fact that Harry's got such a lack of awareness and how he literally is a caricature of himself these days. How can he say something like that? He wants equality. I mean, he's grown up royal. The children are growing up basically in a California palace. They've got staff, servants, nannies. They've got all of these people. They're going to have everything thrown at them, every opportunity because of who their parents are, much like Harry. And he wants to talk about equality. This is a guy that gets on private jets, but tells us that we should be careful where we fly because of our carbon footprints. He can go to any tourist destination in the world, but we should be careful because we're hurting the environment. I mean, it's just out of this world insane. As I said, you just literally cannot make this stuff up that Harry comes out with. Now, as for them going to the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, I've got no issue as long as it is purely for family purposes. I don't think that they should have any starring roles, any prominent roles, and more importantly, I do not think that they should try and overshadow the Queen in any way, shape or form. But we do not have to worry about that. Why are people getting upset about it? Harry and Meghan are not going to appear on the balcony with the Queen. Why, do you ask? Why will we not see them? Why will they not appear on the balcony with the Queen? Well, that's pretty obvious. Harry and Meghan are just going to turn up 3 days before the Jubilee and stand on the balcony by themselves. But not a lot of people will know that. Anyway, guys, that's me out of jokes for today, and I will be back to talk about more jokes that happened at the Invictus Games. So take care for now. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typist, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.